Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night.
What up, what up? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're enjoying the new year so far. My apologies for the video being late. With the fixture congestion in December, and December was a very busy period for me and the new year, and I fell sick for like 2 weeks, and I just couldn't get to doing video, recording the video, editing and all that. But finally got into it, and hopefully this year I have plans to upload more than one video a month like I've been doing so far. I intend to do more videos. Unfortunately, I actually intended to do like a separate transfer video because we're in January, the January window is open and there's lots of movements already going on. But I don't have enough time to make a separate video. I will still try to, maybe, depend on, okay, I think I will try to, but there's no guarantee, but I will try to. If you see it, that means I was able to. If not, it means I couldn't find time to do it. But without further ado, let me move into the main point of the video. Now, honestly, with the falling sick and how busy I was during the festive period, I didn't prep as much. So I'm not going to go in depth into every game we played in December because there are 9 games, guys. Plus, I still want to touch on, since I'm not going to make a separate video this one for the transfer activity that has been going on so far. I'm going to talk about it later in this video. So the video isn't an hour long or even more, because honestly, I can waffle about all the transfer activity and sagas going on right now for like 2 hours. But I still want to do the reviews for the games, so I'll just touch on each game briefly. And I'll mostly be talking about the whole of December in one rather than individual games, because December it started off really well. We're on the winning streak and we're enjoying all the games until we hit that blip. That's hopefully today we play Bournemouth. Hopefully we can find our way out of this rut that we found ourselves in. But so far, December was a decent month. Even though if you're on the internet, you see the meltdown that the fan base is going through or experiencing. Like, honestly, I made a tweet that I don't understand this fan base, and I've actively stopped trying to figure them out, because we go 4 games without a win and everybody is up in arms, even though we just went unbeaten for like 2 months or so and we are still in the top 4. Like, I guess it's because some people started believing that we could be in the title challenge spot, which, to be honest, like I mentioned in my initial videos, that we'll be good enough to be in and around. I think we'll comfortably be in top 4, but title challenging, not this season. Hopefully next season, because the transfer activity that we'll be doing so far is encouraging, but we still need a lot of more pieces. Well, let me go into the games. We started with a game at home against Everton, which I think was probably our best performance this season. Like, we beat them convincingly and we kept a clean sheet as well. I was really happy. So Jackson scored, Fernandez scored, and Palmer scored. That Aston Villa game at home was probably our best performance this season so far against proper opposition, because obviously we've been whooping people in the Conference League. Well, all I can do is sing praises for the players, because I don't think there was anybody that played bad against Aston Villa. So that was good. And then we followed it up with a performance against Southampton. We won 5-1, Southampton away. And even Disasi managed to get a goal. And the game was really nice. It was really good. We scored very early. Very early, although there was a shaky moment when they equalized, and there were some shaky moments throughout the game, but as the game went on, we took over, dominated completely, and then we won the game pretty comfortably. And even though they got a red card. Now, next game was against Tottenham. That game was on a nice edge. I could not believe what was happening. And I was so impressed with Jadon Sancho, because I've been mentioning it that I just need him to shoot. He's one of the most frustrating players to me in our team right now, because I like attackers that shoot, which is why I defend Madueke a lot, because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and I need our attackers to shoot. And for some reason, Jadon Sancho, I don't know if it's confidence or whatever it is, he just doesn't feel comfortable. He just doesn't feel comfortable taking shots. But that Tottenham game, he took control and he took responsibility and he led the charge of our comeback. It led to us winning the game. And of course, Tottenham do what they always do. They bottled the game. They should have won pretty comfortably after we gave them the goals that they scored with Kukurea sleeping twice. That was a crazy game. That was a crazy, crazy game. But it was very entertaining. And it's throughout the season, I had always been confident when we went to go down that we were going to score, that we were not going to lose the game. And while I was watching that Tottenham game, I can distinctly remember that even though we were 2-0 down, I was like, yeah, we're not losing this game. It's not possible. And we ended up coming back with Palmer getting 2 penalties. Crazy, crazy decisions from Bissouma and Papa Metasa. And Fernandez capped it off with his brilliant goal as well. Fernandez keeping his incredible form that he has been on since November. So moving on to the game against Astana. That game was interesting. I think we went there with only like 3 first team players. We went there with kids and we ended up winning the game 3-1. Like I don't know what else to say about that. So it was a standard game that we should have won. A bit tricky with the weather conditions and the environment, but we still were able to get the game finished up. And I enjoyed Chukwuemeka's cameo and that Samuel Rasaki guy. He showed his quality in that game. I think Terry George was a bit underwhelming, but I think he did well enough. He's a young guy, so he's still learning his trade, so not so much to be said about that. Then we went up against Brentford. I was a bit nervous about this game because up until that game, we are not beating Brentford. I don't think we're beating them at all since they came up. Yeah, I don't think so. And we always lost to them at home. I think we managed to draw one game away from home. I think I can't remember, but we only drew them once and we lost all the other games. So even with that, I was still confident that we won't lose again, but I was even nervous of whether we will win or not. And Kukurea was just, I don't know, he was just magnificent in that game. With the goal that he scored, like it was just incredible. Kukurea has really become one of the more important players in our team. After last season when people were screaming for him to get sold and if not for Pochettino, you know what? Hands up, I'll give Pochettino some praise because it was his decision to keep him and play him in the Epic Cup so that we won't sell him to Man United and because he would have been cup tied and whatnot. I'm so happy that he stayed and he has just shown the quality. Because I remember when we signed him for 60 million, and I was like, 60 million on a fullback? Like, okay. And he has proven it. He's such an immense player. He's, in my opinion, he's the closest thing in our team to what Kante was. Like, he's just a ball of energy. Like, he just pops up in different areas of the pitch. Left back, left wing, in the left half space, is inverting in DM, playing CM. Sometimes you even see him pop up on the right wing. Like he's just all over the pitch and he does everything that the manager requires of him. And it's so impressive. It was a bit disappointing that we couldn't keep a clean sheet when we went on to score 90th minute goal. But I expected them to score more than one anyway. So I was just happy that we won the game again. Now, we played Shamrock Rovers. Shamrock Rovers, again, there's so much to say about that game. Kukurea again, I think that he's finished that game with his right foot, and he even tried one against Morecambe, the team that we played in the FA Cup some days ago. Like I don't even understand where this confidence that he has come from, but I'm happy about it because finally we're seeing more people around the pitch popping up and chipping in with goals because we need it. Because for some reason Jackson has lost his shooting boots. I don't know where he left them. So we move on to the Everton game. The Everton game was another game that I was nervous about because Everton is a tough team and it's just our luck that after we played them, Sean Dyche gets sacked. And I was almost certain that Liverpool would not win that game that was postponed. That their game against Everton that was postponed, I was almost certain that they would not win it. With the style of play of Sean Dyche and it being the last game at the stadium and all that, like a lot of factors that would make them more difficult to beat. But now that he has been sacked, that Liverpool game in hand, the chances of them winning that game is a lot higher. And well, the hopes of Liverpool winning the league just went up a lot by a lot. I don't even know who they hired. I think it was David Moyes, I think. And man, even though the style of play is similar, but Sean Dyche is a different animal. Like he can set up that team to defend. Because I was really, really worried about this game. Because I didn't think we would lose, but there was a good chance that we were going to draw the game from not being able to score enough goals to win the game. And that's what happened. We ended the game with an XG of 1.17, which is one of the lowest that we've ended the game with this season. We had been playing so well, so the result wasn't as devastating to me as this Fulham game. I was devastated because I didn't watch the first half of this game. I only watched the second half. and I was so pissed off. I was really so pissed off. This was a game when I think it was after this game that we started seeing more of the tantrums and meltdown online on the Chelsea fan base. And it's just so funny that we've been playing so well all season. And at the first sign, or technically the second sign of trouble, people are writing think pieces on whether Maresca is the person for us or whether we need five signings and whatnot. And from you guys need to relax. From the beginning, we were never meant to win this league this season. It's like if it happens, it's going to be a miracle, but nobody expects us to. But I understand that it's disappointing that we are not really challenging because, like I said earlier, I think part of the reasons for the meltdown is the fact that a lot of Chelsea fans were beginning to believe that we were in a type of challenge, and it's disappointing when you start believing, they make you believe, and then the reality just slaps you in the face. And I think this our bad run of games is mainly because of fatigue. It might be copium, it might be an excuse. I don't know, but that's what I think it is. Because up until December, we have essentially been playing one game a week with our first team. Because whenever we had midweek games, we usually fielded out our B team, which played conference and any other midweek fixture that we usually had. And this December period was when we needed to play first team players in every game. So I think players just ran out of steam, and it showed in the performances because it's the game started feeling like they didn't. How do I put it? It started feeling like they had the right to win and they didn't need to work for the win, and it was very disappointing because we ended up losing against Ipswich, which was disgraceful. The Sassy was just horrendous in that game, and Sanchez. You know what? I've sworn off Sanchez. I'm not going to mention him because we already know what it is with Sanchez. Even though he had a good game against, was it Fulham? I can't remember, but he had a good game for some time in the past. But again, we already know he is not good enough. He has a lot of bozo moments and makes a lot of mistakes. But the Sassy was playing against us in that game. And earlier in the season, I mentioned that I thought Maresca learns from his mistakes. So far, he has shown me that that was a false assumption on my end because I thought he knew not to play the Sassy at right back or in the right centre back position against competent teams because he's a liability against competent teams. Either he is easily run past in those wide areas or he makes poor passes. Like he has these lapses of concentration whenever we're being out from the back or trying to evade press and he just gives the ball away. Like he does that a lot. He has so I don't he's not one that I would trust against when we play competent teams, Premier League teams. When you're playing all these Morecambe, Shamrock Rovers, Astana, sure you can play him wherever you want to play. If you're playing as CDM, like you can play him as striker if you want. But when you come up against Premier League teams, if he's not playing as a centre back, he should not be on the pitch because, contrary to a lot of people's opinion, I don't think he's that bad of a player. He's just unfortunate with the situation. Same with Nkunku. There is no space for him in the team. Like the position that he's best at, we have better players in those positions. So we end up playing him in positions that he is not great at and his weaknesses are exposed. So it made me happy to see that we are thinking about moving him on this January, which I'll touch on later. Throughout that period that we're not winning, it just felt like they were playing as if they expected to win without putting the effort in. Like I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. And it was very annoying to watch. The whole of December, it was a decent run of games. We ended up winning 6 from 9. We lost 2 and drew 1. The 2 games that we lost, very, very avoidable losses. But this is what it is. Football, you win some, you lose some. It's not something to be up in arms about because at the end of the day, we are still a young team. Maresca is still in his first season with us and his, I think, third season be as a proper manager. This was expected, even though I expected this to have happened earlier in the season. The run that we went on was unexpected to me. I expected us to have a bad time up until December and then we would know each other more and kick on. I hope we go back to winning ways today against Bournemouth and we'll see how things go. Now, moving on to the second part of the show, briefly talking about the January window. So the second part of the show, we will talk briefly about the transfer window so far. And I think I may have mentioned this in my other videos, but I didn't expect us to have a lot of activity in January. At least activity that would impact the first team significantly, which, to be honest, it wouldn't really impact the first team as much. But so far the moves that we've been making have more, have more significance to the first team than I expected. especially with the idea to recall Chalobah or to sign Gay, which to be honest, I would rather not have either one of them because I don't rate either one of them. I think they are both decent centre backs. They are the Gay is an above average Premier League centre back. This is not to say that he's not a good player. Obviously he plays for England. He's the captain of Crystal Palace. He's definitely a good player, but he's not quality. Like you don't put him in conversations with Saliba, Van Dijk, Rudiger, like those kind of players. Thiago Silva. Doesn't his name doesn't go near those players when you have conversations like that. So he's not like a top quality centre back. And in my own opinion, the centre backs that we have, they're either average or above average. So I don't really see the point in bringing in another slightly above average centre back. Like if we're going to bring in another centre back, I feel like we should be looking to bring in a top centre back. So in my own opinion, I would not bring back either one of them. But out of the two of them, I think I'd rather bring back Chalobah because one of the issues that we've had so far this season is injuries to the right side of our defense. And Gahey is under left-footed centre back, and Chalobah has more height to him, even though he doesn't win enough aerial duels, but whatever. He's still he's still um is still to me the better option outside of them. Although Gay is probably a better defender than Chalobah. Well, I would rather have Chalobah because he also brings aerial threats when trying to score from corners. So that's it. That and it's also going to be embarrassing. I agree. After all the palaver in summer trying to get rid of him and sell him, and then we end up calling him because of the situation that we are in, Fofana being injured, Badiashile being injured, Sassi not being good enough. And this is what it is. Even though the centre back situation would have more of an effect on the first team than the Nkunku and Tel situation, I do think that the Nkunku and Tel situation is more of a story than the Chalobah and Gahey thing because both of them are underwhelming. But moving on to this. Now, Nkunku is pushing for a move away. Understandably, I mentioned it in my second Chelsea video that I made. I think Nkunku is a quality player, but he's an unfortunate situation, just like Sassi, in that his best position, which would be in the 10, we have a better player there. We have Palmer there. And I mentioned it earlier that the issue that Nkunku has is he doesn't have the passing ability or the passing range that Palmer has, which is why Palmer has a serious edge over him because I think he's just as creative as Palmer, in my opinion. Both of them are not fast, so it's not a matter of one is faster than the other. And I think Nkunku is actually stronger in holding off defenders than Palmer is, although Palmer is trickier. But when it comes to spraying passes and dictating the tempo of the game with your passing ability, that is where Palmer has an edge over Nkunku. Take, for example, the goal that we scored against Newcastle, where Palmer turned, saw Pedro Neto making the run and just pinged the ball to him, and we're on the counter attack and we scored from that. I think it was Jackson that got the goal. Like Nkunku would not play that pass. He will see him making the run, but he would retain the ball. Like he prefers all those intricate short passes than spraying the ball out. And even those intricate short passes, he's a bit hesitant to throw the ball in between defenders and all that, which Palmer does. That's what Palmer has over him. And even when Felix plays in 10, he seems to always outshine Nkunku in that 10 role. So he seems to have agreed terms with Bayern Munich so far. And I guess good to him, more power to him. I actually low-key hope this deal goes through and he gets his move because there's no point in keeping him around. He's really excess to requirements at this point in time because we don't have a lot of injury-prone players in position that he'll be playing if he was still around. Like Palmer is not injury prone, Felix is not injury prone, so the only place he plays is as a striker and he's not as effective as Jackson. So it's better he goes. Not to say that he's a bad player, it's just there's no space for him in the team. And like I said, I'm interested in Tel. The first time I heard about Tel was some years back when I think Tuchel was still the head coach of Bayern team. And I think he went on this goal scoring spree. I think he was scoring every 67 minutes when he plays for Bayern and he was really on fire back then. And I just kept it as a mental note. I never really paid attention to it. But after the news broke yesterday about Chelsea inquiring about him, I went and did a little research and I didn't even need to do too much. From what I saw, I'm already impressed. Like I'm not saying he's going to be world class or any other, but he's the profile that we would need, especially because of the situation with Mudryk and the ban. I think it came out today about Mudryk's test. Because of the Mudryk situation, we are light in the left wing area, even though Neto can shift over on that side and play that side. But we need 4 wingers. And the type of winger that we need is someone that is a different profile for Sancho because, like I said, Sancho doesn't shoot. So we need more of a goal threat from our wing areas, which I think Tel provides. From watching the highlights and doing the research, little research, emphasis on little, he is about 6 foot, which gives sufficient height. I don't think we need like super tall players in the attack, but we need people that are tall enough that when you head the ball, they can reach it. Okay, not like Aguero height. You get like Jackson is about 6'2", Palmer is like 6'1", so he's like 6 foot, which is good enough. I saw some people saying, "Oh, he's not tall," but it doesn't matter. Even Modric is even 6 foot. I think it's like 6'10". Sorry, it's like 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". So he's 6 foot. That's tall enough for an attacker. He can shoot with both feet. Like his goal catalog with both feet is impressive, which is something that I always love from attacking players, for you to be able to use both. Actually, to be honest, all around the pitch, but especially attacking players, because when defenders defend you, they always show you onto your weaker foot. So it's always good for the attacker to be able to use their weak foot as well. So that sincerely impressed me. And his goal, when looked at his goal catalog, I saw him scoring goals from different areas in the box. Like he's not one of those players that can only score from specific angles or when the shot is perfectly set up. So, and he looks like he can keep the ball well. I'm not so certain about his technical ability because, like I said, very little research. But from what I've seen, I'm impressed. He's definitely going to be an upgrade to Nkunku, not because of the quality of the player that he is, but because of the versatility that he provides. Because he can actually play as a striker, unlike Nkunku. He has the energy to press and be a nuisance, and he can play in the wing areas, unlike Nkunku, because even though Nkunku is meant to be able to play on the wings, whenever he plays on the wings, he's always ineffective. So he provides that versatility that we thought we would get from Nkunku, and he provides that goal threat that since we are desperate for from the wing areas if he plays on the wing. So I'm happy with him, even though I'm not so sure that he'll come, because from the reports, what they're saying is that he spoke with company 10 days ago, or today will be 11 days ago, that he wants to make it at Bayern. So the only way he comes is if there's a change, whether he changes his mind or Bayern force him out. And those two situations seem like a long shot. Hopefully, maybe Chelsea will be able to convince him to come. But other than that, I don't know, man. So now, talking about Vega, the report came out, I think, 2 days ago that he's thinking about leaving and Dortmund have interest in him. Now, I understand why he wants to leave, and I don't really hold anything against him because he's thinking about his future, and you can't really begrudge anybody for trying to make decisions that they feel are better for their future. But I'm a Chelsea fan. I care about what is best for Chelsea, and I think it's Chelsea's best interest to keep him. But we are not going to be at any loss if we do end up selling him. And I like the position that we took, that telling Dortmund that we're only interested in a straight permanent sale, rather than a loan with options to buy and all that. No. Like, if he wants to leave, let him leave. Let us know where we are, because we already have too many things that we're worried about. We're still thinking about striker, looking at Dila. Which, to be honest, I'm not really a fan of Dila. I think the only difference between Dila and Mark Guehi is consistent game time. To me, both of them are the same striker, with I think Guehi being taller. Anyway, so we're already thinking about striker because we do need a striker, and we are thinking about a left winger because of the Modric situation. So, and we're also thinking about centre backs, and we should be thinking about a goalkeeper. Although I don't think I don't think we're going to do anything about a goalkeeper at least this January. Maybe in summer. I'm still skeptical about us even buying a new goalkeeper at all. But for now, goalkeeper, we should be thinking about it, but we're not. But yeah, as a whole, I think it's in Chelsea's best interest for him to stay, because we would now have started thinking about backup left back, and we would need to start thinking seriously about maybe getting a midfielder, or probably recalling one of the midfielders that we have on loan. But other than that, honestly, he's a squad player. He can go. No hard feelings. I understand why he wants to leave. He thinks he would have a better chance of playing for his country, which is almost every football player's biggest dream, is to play for their country. So I don't begrudge him for that. I don't know. I don't think he will actually leave, He might, but I don't think he'll actually leave. I think he wants to go on loan because he wants to play consistent football in centre back. So let's be honest, he's not playing centre back for us unless Cole gets injured. So, but I don't think he's going to leave because I don't know. It's just a feeling. I think he wants to stay. Like at Chelsea. I think he just wanted to go on a loan, but I don't know if Chelsea's position would then force him to take the permanent deal. And even at that, I don't know if Dortmund wants to pay the money that we're asking for. So back to the Sassy. I'm happy that we're thinking about moving him on because, like I said, similar to Nkunku, there's no space for him in the team, and he cannot play in that right centre back or right back position for us anymore. He is a liability when he's out there. So I think there was some interest with Juventus earlier, but to be honest, I don't know who will come for him because I read some reports about him wanting to go back to Monaco, but then Monaco saying that they only want to pay half of what we paid for him. Which, to be honest, I would take that. I'll take the loss on the Sassy just for him to go. I don't see him playing for us anymore. I don't hate him. I just don't see him play for us anymore. But I don't know if the club wants to take that loss on him because they are very shrewd businessmen. Maybe they'll be able to work some magic anyway. But that is yet to be determined. So hopefully this gets resolved quickly because I would like for this to be done quickly. Because if anything in this window, like if nothing happens this window and the Sassy leaves, to me it's a 10 out of 10 window. As we're wrapping up this video, please leave a comment down below if you'd rather keep Chalobah or Gehi. Let me know down below who would you rather have. As our recent tradition that we're trying to build on this channel, we move on to the grading system for the month of December. Now, the month of December was on its way on becoming a gold star, A+. We ended up hitting some road bumps towards the end. I think that those 3 games brought the grade down. Well, mostly the 2 games because the Everton game I just sort of expected. So as a total grade out for December, I think I'll give a B+ for the month of December because, like I said, we had our best performance against Aston Villa. We won against Tottenham in dramatic fashion. We battered Southampton and the Conference League teams. We beat Brentford, who we haven't beaten for like 3 years since they came up. So those were massive positives this month. Moving on to the team for December, this is the team that I'll pick. Because Fofana is injured, Badiashile got injured, Gusto has been shit. I think he had maybe 2 good games in December, but then he went straight back to being shit again. Kukurea is always immense. Solidified his spot at that left centre back role. I think Tosin is severely underrated by the fan base. Sure, you can say it might be a Nigerian bias that I have, but I think he's actually a very, very good defender and is severely underrated by the fan base. Jackson retains the spot because honestly, we don't really have another striker. Even though his form went down towards the end. Sancho retains the spot. Madueke, I don't know what is going on with that brother. I still like him. I still defend him. I still think he's a good winger. But in my opinion, he is with Mudryk being out, he's our worst winger so far. Neto has been underwhelming still, but it is what it is. Farmer retains his spot, obviously. Sancho retains his spot, and Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez are our midfield pivot. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again, and peace out. But we ended up hitting some road bumps.